Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we've got an absolutely fascinating explainer lined up for you. We're going to be digging into a behavioral case study centered around something practically all of us have right in our pockets. Yep, shopping apps. Now, the author of our source material started out with a really common assumption. They thought their go-to shopping app, which just happened to be Amazon, was a tool designed to save them time. I mean, it's convenient, it's lightning fast, it's efficient, right? But as we're going to see in this explainer, the reality of how we actually interact with these platforms is drastically different. This isn't just some story about buying things online, it's a deep dive into our everyday habits and the sneaky psychology behind our screen time.
Okay, let's dive into this. Why do we open shopping apps? If I just asked you that right now, you'd probably say, well, because I need to buy something. But I really want to challenge that assumption right out of the gate. Seriously, think about your own digital habits for a second. Think about the last few times you opened a retail app on your phone. Was it absolutely driven by strict necessity, or, was there something else at play there? Our author started paying really close attention to their own behavior and noticed a rather unsettling pattern starting to take shape.
Section 1. The boredom buying myth.
Now this is where the author's discovery really kicks off. They realized the trigger for opening the app had completely shifted away from utility. It mapped out this mindless sequence that, honestly, probably sounds a little too familiar to a lot of us. Step 1. Feel bored. Step 2. Open the app. Step 3. Actively convince yourself you need a gadget. The author noticed that every single time they felt even a tiny twinge of boredom, boom, they were opening the app. Not because they were out of laundry detergent or needed a new pair of shoes, but simply because the app was just right there. It was instantly accessible. And what's totally wild is what happened next. Within just a few minutes of mindless scrolling, they would convince themselves they absolutely needed something. A new phone charger, some random gadget, a highly specific kitchen tool, maybe it was just an item on sale or something that triggered free shipping. They were making purchases for things that, literally 10 minutes prior, hadn't even crossed their minds.
So, Section 2, the 30-day detox.
So, the crucial point is, the author recognized this completely irrational behavior and decided to take immediate, drastic action. They didn't just try to set a screen time limit or something soft like that. No, they completely deleted the app. The parameters of this experiment were super strict. Absolute cold turkey. No browsing. No checking daily deals. No, I'm just going to look and see what's out there. Absolutely nothing. Now, if an app is a true utility, removing it should just cause, a minor inconvenience. But because this app had become something else entirely, the initial reaction to this detox was pretty shocking.
Section 3. Shopping as entertainment.
The initial observations from this experiment were really eye-opening, primarily because the author experienced actual physical withdrawal. I'm not kidding. They noted, quote, "The first few days felt weird. I reached for the app without thinking." Just think about the physical muscle memory required for that to actually happen. You unlock your phone, your thumb automatically swipes to a specific screen and taps a specific spot where an icon used to be. The author was doing this completely subconsciously. Their brain was on total autopilot, desperately trying to execute a habit loop that had suddenly been broken by the deleted app.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core realization of the entire experiment. Shopping had completely morphed from a task into pure entertainment, engaging in online consumerism not for necessity, but for brain stimulation, dopamine, and anticipation. Whenever they had a free moment, their brain wasn't looking to rest, it was actively seeking out a hit of stimulation. And online shopping? Well, it was delivering the perfect cocktail for that. You get the dopamine hit of finding a great deal, the excited anticipation of the package arriving, and that fleeting feeling that just one more purchase would somehow instantly improve their life. It wasn't about the physical items at all. It was all about the chemical reward in the brain.
Section 4. Solving temporary feelings.
Now this marks the true turning point of the explainer. Because after the initial shock of breaking that muscle memory, their psychological landscape shifted dramatically. In days 1 through 3, as we just talked about, it was all about that weird muscle memory, the ghost taps on the phone screen. But by day 7, so after just 1 week, the urge to shop actually started fading. And here is absolutely the most fascinating part. All of those things the author was previously convinced they desperately needed, poof, they completely forgot about them. That massive sale they were terrified of missing, forgotten. That absolute must-have kitchen gadget, completely erased from their mind. By day 30, they had reached a state of profound mental clarity. This led the author to really compare the actual triggers behind their spending. See, we like to think we buy things to solve concrete, practical problems in our lives. But the author realized their unplanned purchases were actually just attempts to solve temporary feelings. They were buying a gadget simply because they felt bored. They were buying a sale item because they felt stressed out or frustrated and just wanted a really quick mood boost. Or they were just driven by idle curiosity. I want to pause right here for a second and just consider this powerful realization. Most purchases don't solve problems. They solve temporary feelings. And the real kicker is, once those temporary feelings of boredom or stress naturally disappear on their own, well, the desire for the item disappears right along with them. It's kind of an uncomfortable realization, I know, but it is incredibly powerful when you really let it sink in. Let's move to Section 5 and see how this builds, wanting versus needed. As the 30 days came to a close, the author evaluated the true overall impact of this behavioral experiment. Naturally, there was a financial benefit, right? They spent less money. I mean, that is the obvious outcome of not shopping for an entire month. But the case study emphasizes that the biggest benefit was actually mental. By breaking the cycle of using shopping as entertainment and relying on it as a dopamine crutch, the author stopped constantly thinking about buying things. All that background noise of consumerism just went quiet. And for the very first time in a long time, they could clearly see the distinct line between simply wanting something in a fleeting moment and actually needing something to function. That mental framework, that newfound ability to differentiate, that's a lesson that will save them vastly more over a lifetime than any flash sale or discount code ever could. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to turn the mirror back onto you for a second. What's the last thing you bought online that you didn't actually need? Was it driven by boredom, stress, maybe just a temporary feeling? I want you to be totally honest with yourself and drop it in the comments below. It's a really great exercise in self-awareness. And hey, if you enjoyed this structured dive into a real-world money and behavior experiment, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next explainer. Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next one.